I may not have everything in the world. I may not have all the money in the world. But one thing I do value and I'm rich in is a transformed life. So you're in this season where you feel like you're pouring out your gifts, your talents, your creativity. Everybody seems to be reaping the benefits, but you aren't experiencing any growth or any return. I get it. I get it. And we have to have balance. We have to make sure that we have boundaries and balance. It can get to the point where you're saying yes and you haven't even said the word out of your mouth. They call it voluntelling or voluntold. And you have to be careful with that. I get it. I get it. You want to uh, make sure everybody else is good. You want to make sure that everybody else is set and everybody else is looking great. But you have to be careful because in the end, it can be to where you are worn out, you're just tired, you have no life, but everybody around you is thriving. You have to have balance. I'm there. I've been there. And guess what? I have good news. Set some boundaries for yourself, please. Look, this, what you're experiencing, is called self sacrificing. You could also be experiencing an emotional or spiritual codependency or a regular codependency. It depends on where you're serving or where you're working or where you're at. I understand. But you have to be very careful because guess what? People are only doing what you allow them to do. So the blame can't go on people. You have to monitor your yeses. You have to be careful to not allow yourself to get stuck in a people pleasing cycle because people will value you based on what you can do for them, not who you are. I posted this the other day. God called us to serve, but he did not call us to be slaves. And it is noble to serve, but not at the cost of your personal progress and growth. And you don't want to get to a place of bitterness or anger against people. Again, remember, people only do what you allow them to do. There is this amazing scripture that says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything that you do flows from it. This is a strategic scripture for you and helps you to keep balance. The things in your heart, your time, your energy, your identity, your purpose. If you don't guard your heart, you'll find yourself drained, directionless, and used. This is even when it's in the name of service. There's another scripture that is used, and it's not that the scripture is wrong because no scripture is wrong, okay? But this scripture can be used towards you or against you to tell you to not get tired in well doing. Now, we've heard this scripture many times because it says at the right time, you will reap a harvest. That is all true. But be mindful. If it's being used for you for people to tell you that you keep going, keep going, keep going, you're going to reap a harvest if you keep doing this, and there's no balance, there's no boundaries in your life, and you're a yes man, and you keep doing, you're going to be the one that's tired out. Remember, even God rested, okay? Just be careful. Draw the boundary lines. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to see what sacrifices you are putting out there for the benefits of others. And is there any growth for you? If you're drained, if you're tired, if you are overly used, you have to be the one to say something. Again, stop saying yes to things over and over again and there's no growth for you. You have to go see God. You have to make sure that there is balance in your life. This is why people are burnt out. They're tired. They're people pleasing. And you are allowed to say no in a complete sentence. You can. Yes, you're going to have a harvest. But you have to also remember if you've been sowing and sowing and sowing into others and never into yourself, that is not God. It's not God. You have to be careful. He wants you to grow too. And I'm learning this for myself. I may not have everything in the world. I may not have all the money in the world. But one thing I do value and I'm rich in is a transformed life. I fight hard every single day to make sure that I'm right with God, that I'm helping others. But I often neglect myself on the count of helping others. And I do not want you to have to deal with that and go through that. I'm 45 years old and I'm just getting that. God told me to stop trying to start over, start differently. And I encourage you to do the same.